it's Jess from Craft with Jess, and today we're going to be making my handbag pattern but with a leather base. So many people have asked for this pattern with the base instead of with a crocheted base, so today I'm going to show you how to make that. If you haven't already, go ahead and grab the pattern from my website. You can find the link in the description and follow along with all of the pattern instructions and all of the items that you need to gather to make the pattern. So we're gonna start out with gathering our supplies. You need to get yourself just a typical little base that you can get from anywhere on Amazon, on Etsy, or in your craft store near you, and then get yourself some handles. My favorite ones are these ones where they have like the little screw on. I got this from this store called Hooked, which is my favorite store for bigger, chunkier types of crochet items. And then get yourself some t-shirt yarn, or you can get like ribbon yarn. I've got some ribbon yarn that I'm gonna try out today in red. You can also use like something else like rope or paracord, something like that. Just consider that it's gonna be a little bit heavier if you use that type of material. And you're gonna need a size 10 hook, which is a size N, but I have on hand a couple more sizes, also a 12 millimeter, and then a smaller size, a 9 millimeter. And I would advise to have a couple different hook sizes just because you don't know what your tension is gonna be. And also depending on the thickness of your t-shirt yarn. T-shirt yarn is just, you know, kind of handmade from leftover t-shirts, or even if you buy it from somebody, it's been wrapped up and made from stretchy fabric. And so there can be a variation of size of the t-shirt yarn. Sometimes it's kind of thinner, sometimes it's thicker. So based on that, you want to have a few different hooks on side. And then you're going to need scissors, a plastic tapestry needle. I do plastic needles when it comes to thicker yarns like t-shirt yarn or anything over medium weight, because it's just easier to get in there, honestly. And then whatever accessories that you want to use. You can get some golden clips. Actually, let me grab mine. Grab yourself some golden clips to put on the ends. You can get a chain. You can get little decorations to put, you know, your initial or a leather tassel or anything like that. I'm also going to decorate with my little leather tags that I had made with my business name, and I'm not sure which color I want to use. Who knows? But anyway, so I actually might do brown and red since I have these brown tags and I kind of like that look. We'll see. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, and I do want to mention the right tapestry needle that you're going to need for this bag. You might want to get a couple different ones. When it comes to working in the actual fabric, like if you have to sew in ends, I find the plastic needles with this little angle the easiest thing to use with bigger yarns. Absolutely plastic. If you're working on like poking holes in the base, let's say you have a base that doesn't even have holes and you have to poke holes with an awl, you need to get a needle that can fit through the hole. So get a smaller needle, and also get the kind that doesn't have the pointy tip. This one here, you can see there's a little difference. One is very pointy. That's going to get caught on everything and it's going to be a pain. So get like the rounded tip. Okay, so to get started, we're going to thread our yarn onto the tapestry needle. So I'm just going to fold mine and just stick it in there and pull it through. And then I'm going to be threading through my holes. So I'm going to come up from the bottom, so the wrong side, coming through the wrong side first, and I'm just kind of starting on the corner, whatever. And I'm going to pull this through. Okay, and you want to pull plenty because you need to go around the entire thing. So pull yourself plenty to work with. And then you're just going to be doing like, I guess they call it a whip stitch or whatever. So I'm just going to be coming back through the bottom. So this lays over like this, and then you come back through the bottom. So working with the leather base, this part of the pattern is going to be the most time consuming for sure, and aggravating probably, because you got to get through the holes and go all the way around. But the benefit of using a base like this is that your bag is just a lot more lightweight. And also it helps with the shape of your bag to be, you know, more standing up straight. And then it just is a little bit more stable. So there's a few benefits of making, you know, making this on a base. You also don't really have to think about the stitch count, because your stitch count is going to be however many holes you have. Okay, and we're just going to keep going all the way around. Try not to make your stitches too tight, just the right amount of tension. Okay, and then you're going to wrap this over here, wrap it over, flip it to the back, and I'm going to like go underneath one strand like this. And then I'm just going to make a little tie right here. Okay, and then you can cut off one side. Now you're still connected to your yarn here. So you're gonna go in there and you're gonna yarn over and you're gonna make your first single crochet. And you're gonna do that all the way around. So you're gonna go into your next one, yarn over, make your single crochet like so. Okay, so I have come all the way around. I'm gonna do a couple more here in the end. Okay, so you're gonna wanna count your stitches at this point. It's always good to have a stitch count, even though you know that your stitches are gonna be as many, you know, holes that you have here. So let's go ahead and count our stitches real quick. So I have 56 stitches because that's how many holes I have. You may have a base that has more holes or less. Don't worry about it. All that matters is that you maintain the same stitch count every single row. You're not growing or going less. So we're going to now make a slip stitch into our stitch, our first one here. Slip stitch. And now for the following rows, we're going to be doing knit stitches. And we're going to chain one for our first stitch of this row. The chain does count as a stitch. And you may want to use a stitch marker whenever you're doing, you know, stitches that are all the same, because you can maybe get lost and maybe not remember which one was the chain. And I still use stitch markers even though I've been crocheting my whole life, depending on what I'm doing, because, you know, let's say I put this down and I pick it up a couple days from now, I may not remember, and why not be accurate if you can? So okay, so now we're going to go into our next stitch, but we're not going to go into the top chain of our single crochet. So remember that a single crochet has two little legs, and then there's a top chain, like kind of like a braid. So the first step to doing really well in crochet is being able to recognize what stitches look like and what they're composed of. So our stitch has two little legs. We're going to go in the middle of those two little legs for the center single crochet, or AKA knit stitch. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to yarn over and I'm going to pull up a loop just like a regular single crochet. And that's one. And that kind of just creates a knit look. Let me show you on another purse I have here. It looks knitted. You see that? Because you're going in the center there. So we're going to do that all the way around. So let me see if I can zoom in. All right, so in between the next pair of legs, I'm going to go in the center, pull up a loop, Oops, Alexa has taken off. Alexa, smetti la musica. Okay, so keep it going. We're going in between. My legs are a little twisted, but I think you can figure out what I'm saying. And you're gonna yarn over, and you're gonna do that all the way around. And you're gonna see that, let me back up, okay. You're gonna see that, you know, this round is gonna be so much easier because you're not working in the base. And then the further rounds are gonna get even easier to do because you're not poking into a single crochet, you're poking into a knit stitch, and it'll be even easier. So go ahead and do your knit stitches in every stitch across until you get back to the beginning. So let's go do that together. I'll meet you back over here. Okay, last stitch here. And then whenever we make our slip stitch now, we're gonna do a method to hide the slip stitch join. So if you look at another bag that I made, this is our join here. You can kind of see it's a little bit tighter than the other stitches, but it's pretty well hidden. And that's what we're gonna do now. So what you're gonna do is you're going to, let me take this out first of all. Okay, you're gonna go underneath this bottom loop. Then you're gonna go inside the two top stitches. And yarn through and come all the way through to slip stitch. And then you're gonna chain one. And that's gonna create another little knit stitch. And you're hiding this little ribbing loop, okay? So our chain one counts as a stitch, and then we're gonna continue on to this row, and we're gonna do knit stitches in the center of every stitch. Okay, so we're gonna go around now into every stitch. Coming in, but we are gonna be using this as the outside, so technically gonna be doing this, flipping my work like that. Okay, so you're gonna keep repeating this. You're gonna go around doing your slip stitches in every stitch, and then at the end, you're gonna do your invisible slip stitch, join, and chain one, all the way till round 11. And then I will meet you at the end of round 11 for round 12. Sorry guys, I had to switch colors on you. So we're gonna be working in white now. It's also a lot easier to see. So we're at round 12, and now we're gonna cinch in the corners just a little bit. So I'm gonna go all the way over till I get to my corner. Okay, so when I get to my corner, I'm going to find the best place to do two knit stitches together on both corners. So this, let's see, I've got my two center ones here, then I have these, then I have these. Then I'm thinking maybe to do my stitches, my combined stitches on these two. So if I follow up with my finger, I know that I need to cinch together these two stitches. So I'm going to do my next knit stitch like normal. And then I'm going to knit stitch together these two. So to knit stitch together two, we're going to go in, grab up a loop, and then we're going to go into the next stitch and grab up a loop, and then we're going to yarn through all loops. Okay? Now let's make sure we're going to find the same place on the other side. So it was these two. So it's going to be these two here. So I'm going to follow with my finger. Okay? And it's going to be these two, which coordinates with the base. So that means I have 1, 2, 3, 4 regular stitches to do. And then I'm going to knit stitch two together, these two. Okay. And then we're going to go all the way to the other side and do the same thing over there. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and I'm gonna combine these two here. Also on the other side, we have left 4 stitches. So I'm gonna combine this one here first. I'm gonna follow up. And I got 1 more stitch. And then I'm gonna combine 1, 2. And then I'm gonna do 4. Oh, here's my join on this one here. My invisible join, go up a row. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then combine these 2. Okay. Okay, so now you should have a 52 count for that row. And now we are on to round 13, and we're gonna go to the next corner and do the same thing. So we're cinching, we're basically decreasing for these 2 rounds, for rounds 12 and round 13. So I'm gonna just crochet over. So we had our 4, and we had done these on the last row. Now we're gonna do this one and this one more inward, okay? So one that we combined the last time, and then you're gonna go in to the next one. Okay, and knit stitch 2. And then we're gonna combine the next 2. So, and then going into your next stitch and combine. So you'll have 2 in between there. Okay, and then we're gonna go to the other side. Okay, and also on this side, we're gonna combine the one that was a combined stitch and the one internally. So doing 1 more knit stitch here, gonna combine this one and the next one. I'm gonna do my invisible slip stitch join, so going under my loop, going through, slip stitch, chain 1, that counts as that stitch, and going into the next one, and then combine the next 2. Okay, so that should give you 48 stitches as the final count for the rest of the rows. Now we're going to continue on, and we're going to do rows 14 through 19. We're going to just keep going around with our knit stitches and our invisible slip stitch join. So I will keep working around, and whenever you finish 19, I'll meet you back here. Okay, we have gone all the way around, and I've done 19 rounds total. So our bag is 19 rounds tall. And now we're going to do a slip stitch border for the top. So I'm just gonna go into every stitch and come through and slip stitch. Okay, now that I've come around, I'm gonna cut a long tail, and I'm going to pull this through, and I'm going to do an invisible slip stitch join to my first slip stitch. So I'm going to just, instead of going into here, I'm going to go through here, and I'm going to go underneath the slip stitch, and then I'm going to come back around, and I'm going to go back through where I came out of. Okay. Pull that through. There we go. And then I'm going to sew this through. All right. So you can see how it's kind of cinched in like this because we did 2 rounds of decrease. And then at the top, it's kind of just curving in like that. And it's kind of bubbly. That's how the only way I can describe it because of the texture of the t-shirt yarn. If I show you another bag that I did here, it's a little bit smoother, and because of the t-shirt yarn, it was just a little bit smoother. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to attach the handles. I like to get the ones that are like the screw-on kind, or the ones where it's actually like a golden clasp and you just clasp it on there. If you get the kind where it's like with all the holes, then you have to literally sew it into the bag, and you have to use a different kind of yarn. You're going to see it. You're going to match the yarn. It's kind of a hassle, and it's a pain, to be quite honest. Like, I would avoid it at all costs, but it does stay. That's the good thing about that. So you're just going to unscrew it, unscrew the backs. And I'm going to try to find the center first. So, if I look at my base, I'm going to go from the base. That's always how I go. So I know that, let's see, these are my middle 2, these, and I'm just going to try to find the middle stitch. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it and find where it kind of looks even, and you stick it through, and then you just screw it on. Okay, so I've got my handles. All right, so I've got my handles on, and now I'm just gonna kind of attach some accessories. I have a little name tag thing that I made with my business, and I can kind of just like mix and match. I think I like this red color. Let's see. I think I like the red color the most. And so I'm just gonna kind of find a spot for this. Okay, not too bad. And then I'm gonna attach my golden, my little golden pieces. So I got these 2 little golden pieces. They're like about 1 inch large, and I just attach them to the sides. That way I can attach a chain if I want to. And it also just like makes your purse look more expensive if you mix materials. This is what I've found over the years making purses. So I'm just gonna kind of, okay, and then you can attach a tassel. You can attach any other type of little accessories that you get at the store or from a market in your town or on Amazon. I got a bunch of little accessories. Let me show you. Like this at the market in my town. I live in Italy, and so we always have a market every Thursday. And they have the cutest like vendors, and I just like attached a little J because my name is Jessica, and it's just super cute. And for this, you just kind of, you can put it anywhere really. Here is my tassel. I think it's so cute. And you can also, I mean, of course, you can get like a leather one, you know, from Michael's or whatever, but it's just fun that you can make one the way you want it to be. You can make it any color, any material, texture. You could add beads to it, you know, cute.